Oh, says that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
It's the home of the Celtics here in Boston as 2K Sports brings you today's action live. And get ready for another dose of NBA basketball on 2K Sports. Hi, this is Kevin Harlan with Clark Kellogg, Greg Anthony, and our sideline reporter is the Hall of Famer David Aldridge. And wouldn't you know it, our good friend KG, Kevin Garnett, has come by to say hello and join us. Kevin, great to see you.
K-Hall, what's up, man? How you doing, man?
I'm glad you're here.
It's good to see you, man.
You ready to go?
Oh, I'm always ready. What's up?
All right. You look at the Rockets, 6 games off the lead. They're most definitely in the thick of things.
And during this streak, guys, one thing you can see on this team is that everybody's role is clearly defined. Every player knows exactly what's expected of them. All the pieces seem to be fitting together perfectly.
Yep, and there isn't a more confident team in the NBA right now. Believe me, none of the guys on that team think this winning streak has happened by accident.
We are nearly ready for the tip-off, but first, let's hear from our very own David Aldridge. DA, it's all yours.
Well, guys, James Harden is a great offensive player, but there's no mistaking it. He does dominate the ball. Now, that can bother teammates sometimes, but Coach Mike D'Antoni says when they feel that paycheck every 2 weeks, that should make them play hard. You have to be a star in your role. So when James gets the ball to you, shoot it, and then run back and play hard as heck. Kevin?
Thanks. He's a great passer, David. There's no doubt he can set the table. Kevin, especially back in Minnesota, a guy named Tim Duncan. Talk about what those games, what those matchups were like.
Timmy, man. Timmy's very crafty, man. Our battles used to just, especially as young guys, man. Young guys trying to establish themselves in a gritty league at the time, full of some older, dominant names at the time, Michael Jordan, Elijah Malone. You know, the time where the forward position was a very, very tough position. But Timmy was one of them ones, man. Used angles very well, was very long, had a lot of counters, very strong, and had an inner beast that people really didn't really talk about because you didn't really necessarily hear or see it. But man, Timmy's one of the best, man. It's not by coincidence. He's one of the one.
Here's the starting group for Houston. Paul and Harden, the star-studded backcourt. Clint Capella is out there with P.J. Tucker. And it's Anthony in at the small forward position.
And though lacking some height, Kevin, Tucker has the bounce, the reach, and the strength and attitude to do damage inside.
Kevin, coming out of high school, you were relatively mature for your age, at 17 turning 18, but do you ever regret not trying college and just seeing what that experience would have been like? I mean, it's such a long time ago, but you've had some chance probably to get some perspective on both sides of that story.
You know what, Kev, I look at it like the unknown is the unknown. Obviously, I've had friends that went to college. Some of my best friends went to college, and I think I've kind of lived it through them a little bit. Listen, when you have responsibility early in life,
which you did,
which I did,
yes.
And you know, so from a mature level, things that interest me are not that interesting as you get older, especially when you have to deal with a vigorous schedule of an NBA schedule. I wasn't able to, you know, be the 17, 18-year-old to chill, have, you know, lean on the parents a little bit, be able to be at home, you know, coming home through the weekends. No, I had a real life that I was responsible for, and I was growing something. I was building something. You know, I was trying to not just be a young player in our league, but a young businessman wanting to establish something for myself, my friends, my family. You can't do those things thinking like a normal 17, 18-year-old. You're taking pieces from grown men around you all the time. You're around people who need something all the time. At some point, you have to put all this together. You have to make it work for you. And you have to put your spin on it for how it works for you and your brand. And you have to be innovative with that. You have to be creative with that. You have to have a vision.
Wow, yeah, there's a lot to consider. Capella kicks to Harden. Houston moving the ball around. Tucker can't get it to go.
But sometimes it's more about what the defense is doing. On that possession, they were all over him on the perimeter.
Tatum. And oh, he jams it right over Clint Capella. Wow.
An athletic forward who dunks it with style, Kevin. He's showing off his dunking ability right there.
And that last replay, courtesy of Under Armour. Another Unleash Chaos moment. Now here's Anthony. And he can be counted on to put some points on the board every night. He's averaging right around 13.5 points a game. Second shot opportunity, and it's sent back by Horford. Hayward kicks to Irving. The basket good off the assist from Hayward. Irving's got his second bucket.
And, you know, Hayward's floor recognition and composure, really impressive. Knows precisely when to pass over to the open man. It's just one of those games for him so far. Nothing seems to be finding the bottom of the net.
Irving against Paul. Irving drives in, and here's Brown outside. Buries the long-range jumper. Brown's got himself going there. His first points of the game on the deep ball. Irving against Paul to the middle. Here's Capella. And the layup is good after a nice lead pass. And Kevin, there was such a whirlwind around your trade to the Celtics from the Timberwolves. What were your thoughts and emotions at that time?
You know what? Being in Minnesota at that time, it was very difficult for me. I didn't necessarily want to leave. I had a goal to bring the city a championship, and I felt like I could do that. Nothing worse than when you have to deal with the reality of change. I'm not the one for change, even though I do know in order to process or progress better, you have to embrace some change. So with the help of my friends from Chauncey Billups, Teron Lue, I sat and I thought through it with those guys who had been through the trade process and talking to me, getting me to understand my options. And once I understood all my options, then I just, it was about what was best for me and my family.
Wow, yeah, there's a lot to consider. He's perfect from the line this time. And Kev, you had a voice in where you'd go from Minnesota. How did all that play out?
I sat with my wife, and we all kind of went through it and thought Boston was the best situation. Paul and I had great bones and great history that I don't think the world really knew. We have been knowing each other since 14, 15. I played with each other younger, and I had a chance to play with Cole, but that really didn't go through. A lot of people don't know I had a chance to play with Steve Nash also, but I wanted to play with Stoudemire, and that wasn't the case. So I decided to go to Boston. Ray and I knew each other from South Carolina. And then, the Rondo piece was a huge piece for me. I had followed the youngster in his first year and just watched his growth a little bit, even though I was in the Western Conference. And then when I got to Boston, I knew they had good pieces like Kendrick Perkins and Tony Allen. I wasn't aware of the big baby piece yet, and then I wasn't sure on the Posey part. And then all of a sudden it started to come together. Eddie House, and then all of this, and
great names.
I mean, just all alphas, all guys to stand up and speak for themselves and be articulate, and all different facets, and very similar facets of who we are personality-wise. And a lot of people just don't know that team there. I don't think another coach could have coached that team other than Doc Rivers.
Now, here's Tucker. Jason Tatum missing his last shot. Tucker with the ball. He's got 5, 4 on the shot clock. Horford with the rebound.
And right from the start, Kevin, they've been pounding the glass. Most of those 50-50 balls also going their way.
Well, I don't think there's any question about it. They came focused and ready to play. I mean, they're doing everything they can to put things in their favor. You earn that, and they're actually earning it well right now.
Kevin, when you played, we all know how intense you were, how much you cared. That, to me, was the thing that you cared so much about the product, about the team, about the game. But some people have said that maybe there was a streak of you that was mean is maybe not the right word, but you were overly aggressive. But I don't know how you could have played any differently.
I call it dialed in.
What?
I like to think that if you're trying to accomplish something, then, I only know one way to accomplish something.
Gusto,
you go at it with everything you have.
Yes.
You go to dominate it and take it over. You don't go at something lightly.
Can't walk through the park with this game.
Not at all. Not at all. And this game is full of talented elites. Night in, night out, you're playing someone that can typically go for 50 easy.
So true. And looking back at last season, here's a look at the 3-point and 2-point shot attempt averages for Houston.
And the three-pointer was their preferred weapon. It can be a risky strategy, but it's one that more and more teams have embraced over the years.
Al Horford, a player who doesn't dominate any one category as a big man, but KG has very few weaknesses. He's fundamentally sound.
He's very effective, man. Al Horford knows what he is. He's very solid with what he does. Sets great picks. He's able to create space between him and his defender. If you watch him, he's gotten better with his shot. He's gotten better with his three-point shot. He's able to shoot it at rapid style now. Being in Atlanta, being in a kind of a system where he was able to play kind of 4 guys, 1 in, and he would be more perimeter. He's really developed a perimeter shot now. It's really helped him. Now he's able to put the ball on the floor with a shot fade and go to the basket, make, other passes to guys. Really helped that whole system up there. Boston is a threat, but without Al Horford's play, his inside play, and his, able to go out and hit threes, they're not the same team without him.
Quality person, too.
Absolutely,
yes.
Man. No better locker room leader. He's one of these guys that, when you talk about men, you want to know that men can stand up and speak like men. He's one of those guys. He's one of those guys that's going to put on the table, and we are going to be in here speaking as men as he should be.
Here's what Boston's going with right now. Aaron Baines, he's checked in for Horford. And the great subbed in for Gordon Hayward. And here's Boston. They're on a 13-5 run. And people may not know, KG, that you're not just a broadcaster for 2K, but you're a member of the 2K community.
Have you been keeping up with the community, man?
Oh, yeah, very much so.
Man, listen, shout out to all the 2K players out there. I'm Jizzle Lord. Y'all know what it is. I'm Jizzle Lord 5. Shout out to my OBF team. Y'all know what it is. Shout out to Dex. Shout out to Bug. Shout out to everybody out there playing.
Wow.
Right, we definitely.
Wow.
It's all good. I'm OBF. I'm about the team. I'm gang. You know what it is. Jizzle Lord, y'all holler at me. Y'all know what it is, 2K. Right.
Now, here is Knight. 9 points last game. To the inside. Trying to go for an alley-oop, but excellent defense and anticipation there to stop it. And Baines pulls it down. Celtics leading by 3. Kevin, it's been said that some guys hated to play against you. Is there someone you hated to play against for whatever reason?
No.
You enjoyed every jam?
I enjoyed every competitor because on the offensive side of the ball, I was always challenged when to use counters or what type of moves I was using. I took a lot of pride in having a variety of moves for different types of defenses, and each guy is going to bring out a different side of the offense in you. And then turning around and then being that defender and being able to guard the post player or the post or whatever the post player was or whatever. Rasheed Wallace was always a tough guard. Tim Duncan was always a tough guard. Zach Randolph was always a tough guard. Chris Webber, Dice, Karl Malone.
Great names. There's 1:47 left to play in the first quarter. On the wing, Morris. Shot clock at 6. Terrific design on the pick play, and he lays it in. Morris has got 6. And when you watch Marcus Smart, you can see just how strong he can be on the defensive end. Why do you think, KG, he is such an impactful defender?
Marcus Smart, he rarely gambles. You watch him play defense, he's very solid. He takes up space. When these point guards now, they want to be able to have space to be able to create. He gives you one direction. You know what?
He anticipates well.
He anticipates well. More importantly, he's very smart. He understands the whistle. He understands hard fouls. He knows when to foul hard, when not to. And on the offensive end, too, he'll hit a 3. He's a gutsy player. On the defensive end, he'll take charges. He'll do little tangible stuff that a lot of guys won't do. You need a smart on your team to do the small things if you're trying to really win.
And the smart things, right?
The smart things. Only you, K. Hard.
No, come on. You just got that from me. What are you talking about? You said it. I just
classic.
I just repeated right
classic
there.
2K. Classic 2K, K. Hard right there. You lit, K. You lit.
Because I'm next to you.
You lit. I'm telling you, lit.
Come on.
Hey.
Now, here's Knight. No scoring yet from him, but that's likely to change. Chris pass to Gordon. And a little luck that time, but it drops.
Good quickness on the catch and shoot. Gordon giving the defense no time to react off the pass.
Pass to Morris. And he elevates with a slam dunk. Marquise Chris did not like that.
Wow,
And that sort of showmanship is just deflating right now to a team trying to get back into a game like this.
Ouch, Greg, that is definitely an emphasis jam. A big apostrophe or exclamation point, maybe even a question mark.
And guys, I know there are a lot of questions right now defensively for this team. There's no doubt about that.
Boston leading by 3. Here's Smart against Washington. He was really on his game. Kicks to Bain and out of bounds as the Rockets gain possession. Rockets trail by 3. 3-second difference between shot clock and game clock. Outside, Green. Houston moving the ball around. Here's a screen by Chris. The drive by Gordon. Over Smart. And it's Gordon missing.
Well executed. Great rhythm. You've got to finish that one.
Agree with you there, partner, because that screen really freed him up nicely. And that's a shot that if you're a pro, you need to make that one.
The Celtics haven't yet missed a free throw. 5 for 5.
And when you got a team percentage of about 81%, you're going to be one of the elites in this league.
Yeah, in general, they've been very solid. I mean, free throw shooting isn't something they've had to worry about too much this season, guys.
And so, Smart nails both of them. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Living like college. Yeah.
And earlier, Chris Paul told us about the of their roster. So important for any team.
Our bench is amazing. It's so exciting because when our bench comes in, more often than not, if we're losing, they're going to get us the lead. And if we have the lead, they're going to increase the lead. And it's fun to watch because everybody cheers for each other, too.
When your starters feel that good about their second unit guys, that's a heck of a asset that a team can have. And if you've seen Chris Paul cheering from the bench, you know that it's very, very true.
And Kevin, that's the kind of team that's always been so much fun to play on. Everybody's really pulling for one another, no matter who's playing. Even in practice, with that kind of a team, you tend to have more fun.
Now the second quarter getting ready to start up. And breaking down some numbers here, the hustle stats for the Celtics.
And it's been about their defense. They're playing with a frenetic pace, putting a lot of pressure on the ball handlers and forcing turnovers.
They also came out of the locker room with their running shoes on. I mean, their transition game has been full throttle.
We've got Aaron Baines. Marcus Morris is out there with the great. Then there's Smart. That's the 5 to begin the second quarter for the Celtics. And now here's Chris. Let's go to the 2K leaderboard. These teams have been terrific at turning turnovers into points. 5th on the list, the Celtics.
They're so aware defensively. I mean, an opportunistic group in terms of forcing miscues and getting out in transition. And boy, do they do a great job of taking advantage.
And the first one drops. P.J. Tucker, he's checked in for Green. Kevin, you were a mainstay All-Star Week. You've seen everything there. If it were up to you, would you make any changes in All-Star Week in the events and the way everything is kind of carried out? You've went to so many.
I have. And you know what? Each city gives you a true essence of its own identity. I would like to see each city get a chance to host, regardless of if it's big enough or not. I think that each city has the ability to host. I think each city...
if you're with the family, then you should be able to host in the family, right?
Well, not only that, but just think about what All-Star is, man. It's an event. It's a family event. And each city wants to be able to show you their best thing about their city.
And here is Knight. following the three-pointer by Kyrie Irving.
Yeah, that's just poor decision making. He's got to be better in those situations.
Greg, I just think he was in a hurry. He flat out rushed it. I mean, I don't know what he was thinking there. He actually was in a brain neutral position.
Now here's Tatum. He had 10 points in the win against Washington.
And you know what? In that last game, he was also all over the place on defense, mucking up the passing lanes and getting all kinds of steals, too.
Kevin, you accomplished everything individually as a teammate. Anything that you wish you would have done, any player that you wish you would have played with, any regret in that form that lingers with you in retirement?
No, nothing lingers. Obviously, you know, you sit back and think about, I would love to play with Cole for a year, or got to team at least play in the U.S.
You had a chance. Wasn't there like a rumor at one time?
It was.
Going to the Lakers?
My connection with Paul was just the opportunity when I waited. It's what it was. But Cole,
you wouldn't have traded the Paul Pierce thing for anything.
No, I wouldn't have, because Paul and I are true brothers. The connection, and then the team, Ray, my connection with Doe and then Doc and all of that. So I wouldn't have given that up for anything. But if I could have played with one person, probably would have been Cole. Summertime, I say USA because that's when you get to play with each other and all that, and you get to kind of beat up on everybody else and be USA or whatever. So that would have been super fun. But it's all good. Shout to Mama, you know what it is. But I have no regrets, man. I left everything on the floor. I enjoy watching the game more than ever now, dog. I'm not even front. I enjoy having my popcorn, my little ritual with my boys, and we sit back and we watch the game and love the game.
Yeah. From the sideline, let's catch up with Hall of Famer David Aldridge.
Kevin, Celtics coach Brad Stevens is known for getting the best out of his players. He said every NBA player has an elite strength. Some of them have 10 of them. Those guys are the very best in the league, right? But every one of them is here for a reason. So there are times when you can really soar with that skill. Kevin?
And that's why Stevens is already one of the best coaches in the league, David. You've talked about him for a long time, getting maximum results from every one of his players. Here's Knight after the basket by Boston. Feeds it to Gordon. Now the dish to Tucker. Knight against Irving. Just 5 to shoot. Hits the front of the rim and out. Celtics leading by 4. Good, and Smart gets the assist. Smart's got 3 assists in the game.
Boy, I tell you, I don't know if there's anybody better than Kyrie Irving close to the basket. He has a great feel for how to score inside.
Gordon kicks to Chris. Eric Gordon on the wing, guarded by Smart. The drive by Gordon. And sticking right with it, gets the foul with the bucket, and he'll go to the line. Kevin, you were so successful jumping from high school to pros. What do you think about the current situation now, the age of 19, the minimum to go to the draft?
You know, I'm always be a fan of the younger kids being able to have the opportunity. I don't like when you put parameters. I could see if college was really teaching these kids and really giving them a solid situation to be able to have something to defer to. But, you know, these kids are not learning at the rate that you would like them to learn in college. And plus, they're not staying in college to these great institutions to be able to apply some of the things they're learning. So I just think that
they're basketball players.
They're basketball players, but they should have the opportunity to take advantage of if you're able to play at 17, 18 like I was. I'm not saying that every kid's going to have that, but you have obviously the D-League. You have all these multiple leagues throughout the world and where kids go to play. You know, some kids have missed out just because of that 1 year and some mishaps. And you sit here and you can say, you know, for business is good for this. Listen, the business is what it's going to be. We need to develop and have these kids be professionals more than anything. We need to grow these kids from a skill level and an appetite level. Our game was built off for one to be better than the ones that's come before us. You know what I'm saying? Lou Alcindor came in here. He was, a.k.a. obviously Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He was more encouraged to beat out Wilt Chamberlain and Bill Russell more than anything. And then that starts to trickle down from the effect of from Jordan wanting to be better than Larry Bird and Magic to Cole wanting to be better than, you know, it's the same thing. It's being trickled down. And when I think of greatness, I think, you know, it's going to follow. It's going to be shadows, and at some point it's going to mimic.
Hayward hits them both. Kevin, we've all seen the evolution of the perimeter style offense. Do you think it'll ever go so far that we'll see the game come back to an inside-oriented offensive scheme?
I think right now that with pace being the way it is now, Kev, I don't see it necessarily going through or going back to playing through the post. Although you have to have an alternative. I think that you just can't be all three-pointers and layups. I think you have to have a constant flow of inside-outside. I think it helps to have a post player. I think having a post player or a true post player that can score and dominate the middle opens up threes and opens up ball movement.
You played during the transition too, didn't you? From a grinded out type of game inside to the spacing that we have now.
I did, and I'd like to say that, you know, Doc Rivers started the small ball, and, you know, we were very, very keen on the small ball. So I think in today's game, you got to be able to shoot the three now and be able to handle the ball and put the ball on the floor and make decisions. So it shows that the game is transformed.
And Irving throws it down.
Yeah, putting on some kind of show here tonight. Irving, a relentless scorer.
Jaylen Brown is out of UC Berkeley. He has sought out the mentorship of greats like Isaiah Thomas, the original Isaiah Thomas, the first Isaiah Thomas. How key is that for young players, you think, Kevin, to tap into your knowledge? Talk to an Isaiah Thomas or a Shaq.
It's important, man. The OGs have the knowledge. You know, we like to call it the YGs, this younger generation. And what you get from an OG is that he's going to give you stuff that intangibles, things parents, relatives, family can't give you, things that go in the locker rooms, things that, you know, that helps you prepare. When you get knowledge like this, you have to apply it. You have to use it to the best of your ability. More importantly, you have to see how it fits you. You know, you'll get some advice from a great, and at some point you have to see how it relates to you in your life. And we like to say not only the way you give back, but the way you pay an OG back is that when you become an OG, you see a YG, you give them those same jewels that some OG gave you at one point.
Now here's Tatum, covered by Anthony. Tatum dishes to Horford, stolen by Harden. Inside, and as it goes out of bounds, Houston able to keep the ball. Chance now to take a look at the steal numbers over the last couple months. The scope of that for Smart.
I feel like he hasn't been paying as much attention to the defensive aspect of the game as he needs to. His steals have dropped over the past few months, and he needs to get back some of that fire on D.
Aaron Baines, he's checked in for Boston. Marcus Morris comes in for Tatum. Now here's Green. He hasn't yet put up any points in this one. And it's off from three-point range. Irving against Paul. Now here's Irving. He had 13 points in the win against Washington. 6 on the shot clock. It's Brown with the drive. No good on that one. And it's Houston the other way. They come in fresh off a win against the Heat.
And once they established that flow offensively, really never got any resistance from the D.
And, you know, Greg, they were sinking shots left and right, and that's got to be demoralizing for the defense. They were in a real zone.
The Rockets pull it in.
And one thing I liked in the first quarter was their aggressiveness to draw the contact, putting the defense on the defensive.
Yeah, exactly. And I think they need to continue to press that advantage. They've got to get back to that. Don't go away from that. It's been working so well for them. Stay with it.
And Boston has possession. The Rockets making the shot. Looking to end the drought. Rebounded by Capella. Capella's got rebound number 5 here tonight.
Has not made another three since the one he drilled in the first, but still, you got to defend him from beyond the arc.
Wow, he got whacked on that one. Shouldn't be much debate there.
Blatant contact, straightforward call, simple.
First one falls for him.
Yeah, in this quarter, they've had the right approach, driving and drawing, initiating contact, create opportunities, get to the line.
Yeah, I like everything you said there, because when all else fails, if you can get to the stripe, that's really a good way to change the momentum in the game, because you get points and you also slow down the opponent because the game isn't going up and down as much.
And KG, I have to say, a pleasure to have you with us here tonight, providing your great insight and intellect into these broadcasts. Thanks so much for being with us on the show, and I hope you come by again.
Man, can't hardly anytime you need me, man. You let me know, man. I'm yours, man. You know what it is.
The great, the champion, Kevin Garnett. Always fun to have Kevin Garnett on the set, Clark. You can tell he was in high spirits as usual. Have to respect his continued zeal for the game.
Yeah, he's never lacked for passion or zeal. It's been part of what's made him such a great player, a Hall of Famer in the future. And I don't think that's ever going away. I mean, he's really a kid at heart, and he played the game that way, which was a pleasure to watch. And, man, it's been really cool seeing him do what he did as an NBA player and actually giving back to some of the younger guys that are coming up in the league now.
Harden kicks to Green. And there's the feed to Capella. And play stops. Whistle on what looks to be an illegal screen. Let's take a moment now to check out the top scorers around the league. James Harden, number 1.
And all you have to do is point to his name at the top of that list. Does that tell the story well enough or what? What a season.
And the pass to Baines. Here's Morris on target from 13 feet. Morris has got 13.
And the confidence of Morris, even with the hand in his face, he knows he can deliver.
Harden against Brown. With a step back. Offensive rebound. Capella. And the layup's good off the glass. Capella's got 4 points this quarter.
They are just killing him on the interior.
Yeah, you can't say that with enough emphasis. I mean, the defenders are just not being aggressive enough down low. You got to play with some physicality in the paint.
Baines passes to Morris. Rebounded by Capella. Capella's got 7 rebounds in the game. Paul dishes to Green. Back to Paul. Lobs it up for Anthony. Stolen away. Nice job to interrupt the alley-oop attempt there. What a performance for Kyrie Irving. He has been the story for Boston. He got into double digits for the quarter with 10 points total. And now let's catch up with David Aldridge, who's standing by from the sideline.
Thanks a lot. Kyrie, what was your plan for tonight?
I was trying to get assists in the beginning, and I'm just having a good time out here. Got it going a little bit. Enjoying myself.
Okay, Kyrie, we'll see you in the second half. Thanks a lot. Back to you, Kevin.
Thanks so much, Dave, for the great interview. Don't go away, folks. We'll be back for the second half of basketball right after this.
It's the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
And an exciting first half indeed. Welcome back. I'm Ernie Johnson alongside Kenny, DJ, Smith, and Shaq, the Eel O'Neal. What a game it's been for Kyrie Irving. He had 14 points, 4 assists, and 1 block. His last game out, he was just not himself. But tonight, he has rounded right back into form with a very solid first half. Kenny, what's your take on Boston so far?
Well, there was a big spark from the bench in the first half. Sometimes you're hoping for your reserves to come in and just hold court, but they didn't do that. They actually got better.
And Shaq, let's get your input on the Rockets.
Well, they had no consistency on the defensive end. Looked like they were building confidence, and then boom, turn up the volume. A series of bad plays. They're giving up way too many good looks.
That's it for now as the second half just about ready to go.
And it's been a back-and-forth game so far with no ground given through the first half. Third quarter starting here now. You look at Kyrie Irving in this game, he has been everywhere.
Yeah, and sometimes you find yourself in a role you're not comfortable with, but his passing in the first half really was impressive.
Yeah, and you know, he accumulated a lot of assists. And I liked how unselfish he was, Greg.
The third quarter now beginning. Both sides looking to pull away in the last half of the game. Rockets trail by 3. And on the floor for Mike D'Antoni starting the second half. The two pillars of this team, Chris Paul and Harden, are the 1 and the 2. P.J. Tucker is out there with Anthony, and it's Capella in at the pivot spot manning the middle. Oh, and the jam by Tatum.
Man, what a finisher is Tatum. Jason Tatum going high to hammer it down.
And the replay presented, of course, by Under Armour. Unleash chaos. Great stop and some great basketball going on. There's a good screen. Capella kicks it to Tucker. It's good. This game is all even. Tucker's got 11. Well, Clark, you had the distinct honor of playing horse against the former president of the U.S., Barack Obama. You lost that game, I don't want to remind you, but I want an honest answer. Did you let him win that contest?
Kevin, the deal is that it was an unbelievable privilege to play POTUS. We changed the letters of that game back in 2010, and I let the president up. I gave him life after I had him down, and he took advantage of turning the momentum in his favor. He won fair and square. I did give him an opportunity to win, but he's on top in that matchup, and I think it ended up being good television. And while some of my former teammates look at me with disdain for having lost a horse game to the president, I think it was all intended to end just the way it did.
Paul with the three goes back up, and that basket's going to count, folks. Gets the goaltending call right there.
So close to getting the block there. You can live with those calls because you'd rather have a guy playing aggressive instead of playing it safe.
Celtics trail by 4. In the corner, Smart with it. Paul with the steal. Pulls up on the wing. Again, the miss by Anthony.
And, you know, it hasn't been his night, but his team still leads, so that's encouraging.
Nice shot by Smart.
Yeah, I like how Tatum surveys the floor. Great at looking for his teammates, especially when they're open.
There's the pick. Harden outside. Rebound, Boston. Tatum's got his 4th rebound with that last one here tonight. Smart kicks to Irving. Nice ball movement by Boston. Here's Tatum, and slam dunk by Tatum.
And he's an automatic finisher when he gets into that area.
He is, and he picks the simple one-hand stuff to get the 2 points.
Hey, guys, I know I'm stating the obvious here, but those could be an important 2 points considering how close this game is.
The 3 from Harden. Another miss by Harden. For Boston, they've gone 3 of 4 so far in the 3rd quarter from the field. Pretty good start to the half. Paul passes to Tucker. Back to Paul. Harden dishes to Anthony. Harden outside. Jacks up a 3. Another miss by Harden.
And there have been some terrible shot choices here, Kev. That's not a good look at all.
Pass to Baines. He dishes it to Tatum. He feeds it to Smart. Irving for 3. The Rockets pull it in. Paul outside. From 12 feet out. And Boston with the rebound. Tatum's got his 5th rebound right now in the game. Now Irving. 14 points for him. And it's Baines in the corner. Chance there to take the lead. Missing. Houston's gone 1 of 4 in 3-point shots here in the 3rd. Anthony kicks to Harden. Here's Capella. Off the mark, and the drop continues.
That's a surprise. I mean, really out of character for him to miss when the defense is not right up on him.
Smart passes to Tatum. Irving from long range. Here's Baines. Rebounded by Capella. Capella's got rebound number 12 now. Tenacity on the glass. Paul for 3. Rebound, Gordon Hayward. Boston's gotten blank from 3-point land so far in the 3rd. Still 0 for 3.
You know, one of the great strengths of Coach D'Antoni, to me, Kevin, is he really gives his players a lot of confidence. And his philosophy really clicks with players. They're comfortable playing for him. They know their responsibilities, and they play hard for D'Antoni.
And to what you said about Mike D'Antoni, he sees his players and asks, what can they do, instead of what can't you do?
And, you know, he's had a lot of success last season, elevating the Rockets and winning Coach of the Year in the process.
All free throws good from Tucker.
you know, starting out in the D-League, then bouncing around the international circuit, Tucker took the long, hard road to get here.
That one good for 2.
How about the passing? They are moving the ball without any thought, without any individual agenda.
Yeah, and it's really fun to see that kind of unselfishness. Really hard not to appreciate all the assists they've racked up.
Knight dishes to Gordon. Knight wide open, and he sinks the shot coming off the strong pick. Knight's got his first points in this one. Passes it to the great. On the wing, Morris. Again, the miss by Morris. Houston in the lead. Down low. Here's Tucker. He can't hit that time. Now Boston takes it the other way. They defeated the Wizards in their last game.
And this is why scouting is so important. You've got to be able to identify those role players who can complement what your team does.
And you know what, Greg? Every team has guys that play different roles. As a matter of fact, most players in the league are role players. It's a matter of understanding your role and doing it well, because role players are just as important as the stars.
So the whistle blows on the shot, and 2 free throws for the contact right there. Clark, when you watch a team that's clicking on offense, what are some of the smaller things, the small details that are setting them apart?
Well, a couple of things. One is solid screen setting. That's huge, because that's an unselfish act when you set a screen to get somebody else open. Then ball movement, being willing to go past a good opportunity for a next pass best opportunity. I think the Golden State Warriors do that as well as any team in basketball. The extra pass, sharing the ball, and giving themselves up for each other.
And he makes both free throws. And you ask any Houston fan who the greatest player in the history of their franchise is, and they all say Hakeem Olajuwon. Clark, you played against Olajuwon. Just how great a player was he? And what does he mean to this Rockets franchise today?
Boy, he was special. A first ballot Hall of Famer, brought the only titles in franchise history to the Rockets, and could do everything you want from a big guy. Graceful, strong, a presence defensively and on the glass, unselfish. They called him Hakeem the Dream for good reason. That dude was a dream to play with and a nightmare for opponents.
And a chance to catch up on some numbers here. Scoring breakdown for the Rockets.
I'll tell you what, they've hit the boards hard in this one, and it's led to an abundance of second chance points. I mean, they've gotten a lot of second chance points.
Yeah, but they've also done a great job of playing in space, getting out in transition every opportunity.
And the first one at the line is good. And the Celtics making a change here. Tatum's checked in. Green, he's checked in for the Rockets. Both good from the line that time. Houston's gotten 1 of 6 three-pointers to drop since coming out of the locker room at halftime. Knight kicks to Chris. Dishes it to Gordon. So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up, and 2 shots coming up. And a look here at the shot chart for Harden.
And the story of the game for him has really been painful. I mean, he's tried to get things going, but for whatever reason, between the defense and just his rhythm tonight, the touch just hasn't been there.
So he picks up just 1 from the line that time.
Really appreciate the all-around game of Gordon. He's
And guys, I don't know that this is the time for that kind of flair. In a close game, the important thing is to get the 2 points, not necessarily the dramatics.
Oh, come on. He had to go for that, didn't he? My goodness.
Yeah, I'm with you, Kevin, there. I mean, I can't fault the guy for adding a little flavor to things. I'm fine even if he'd have missed it. I don't mind taking a chance to spruce it up a little bit.
Here's Brown. Makes a big high bounce and goes in. Brown's got the game tied up here for the Celtics.
And Brown is just so physically imposing. I mean, especially inside where he usually gets whatever he wants.
And Tucker has it in the corner. Drills it from outside. Tucker's got 10 points in just the second half.
Evan, there's no stopping him right now. I mean, he's locked in this quarter. This defense has to get the ball out of his hand.
And here's Morris for three. Chris with the rebound. Chris has got his 5th rebound right now in the game. Green kicks to Knight. It's good. Knight's got his 2nd bucket of the game to go.
You always hear about chemistry. That's a perfect example, knowing where each other is at all times.
And a lot of contact on that one, so he'll shoot 2 here.
And Al Horford just so versatile. You know, that extends to the defensive end as well. Very mobile, can move his feet with smaller players, and at the same time gives you a presence on the interior.
The first one falls. And Horford won't wow you with his athleticism. But Greg, he's still a pretty good shot blocker.
He has great timing, anticipation, and awareness. Don't forget also he's got terrific hands, and you see that with all the steals he racks up.
So Horford gets 2.
This is as good as it gets from the charity stripe here in the second.
Yeah, you know what? And I think they've just got to keep on keeping on. Keep drawing contact, attacking, getting to the line. That will certainly give them a chance to get back into the game.
And the rebound goes to the Rockets.
And fought hard to make his way to the rim, but give the deep credit, did just enough to force him to clank that one.
There's a minute 34 left to play here in the 3rd. It's deflected. There's Green with the 3. And it goes out of bounds. Last touch by Green. As we get a break in the action now, let's take a look at the East and how the teams are stacking up. You look at the Bucks. They've got their eye on the #1 seed as the season moves into the final stretch. Currently first place in the standings, and guys showing no signs of letting up. And of course the Celtics. They're sitting in 5th place.
And you know, for the Celtics, this hasn't been the breakout season that many were predicting, but they're still very much in the hunt for a high postseason seed, and that will keep them focused here during the season's final stages.
And they need to stay focused. I mean, they have to ensure they hang on to a high seed. It's imperative for them.
Celtics trail by 3. Pass to Horford. Over in the corner, Brown. Back to Horford. In the corner, it's Morris. Misses the 3. And for Houston, they're shooting around 40% in the 3rd. Maybe settling for some less than ideal looks out there. Green, count that one. And the Rockets lead by 5.
He had his choice of finishing moves there, and you just got to love the fact he went old school with the finger roll.
8-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. This one for 3. Yes, and Knight with the assist that time. Green's got 5 points now this quarter.
And his presence as a scorer, it just has a calming effect for the rest of the team. He's a fallback option whenever they need him.
And here is Morris. 15 points in the game. Lays it up off the glass.
Yeah, and give it up for the feed from Horford. He's a playmaker, and you love having a big man show off that kind of vision.
And so it's the Houston Rockets with a 6-point lead at the end of the quarter. Well, they trailed by a bunch, but once they got going, the comeback was on. Back right after this. Now let's listen to Ed Stevens.
Pace of play is a big part of tonight, okay? Make sure on the bench when we come back, we lift it. We lift it.
The team's great young teachers, Brad Stevens, wanting his guys to control the tempo.
Yeah, and he feels if they push it, if they attack intelligently, it's going to be to their advantage.
Welcome back as we get rolling once more. The 4th quarter right ahead in what's been a very well-contested game. Hayward outside at the 3 with Morris to his side at the 4. Then there's Horford. Then there's Brown. That's who's in the game for the Celtics. Harden kicks to Anthony. Over Morris. Anthony can't hit.
You know what? They're winning, though, despite the fact that he has just been really off.
Paul with the defensive effort. Rockets leading by 6. To the paint. Oh, a nice defensive play to disrupt the alley-oop. Some solid D from Paul.
Well defended, though, and he's not someone who handles that kind of pressure very well.
Tell you what, Kevin, there aren't many players who would have even seen that pass, but when we're talking about Chris Paul, he's got unique vision, unlike most anybody else.
On the sideline, let's catch up with Hall of Famer David Aldridge.
Well, I was able to listen in on what Brad Stevens had to say to his team. He told them that for now, they have to back off of the three-point line. He said, we don't have to just shoot threes. Let's get the ball in tight for some high-percentage looks inside the paint. Back to you guys.
Screen by Capella. The three from Harden. Rebounded by the Celtics. Horford's got his 3rd rebound on the night. Here's Tatum. The shot's good. Brown making the play. 16 points for Jason Tatum.
And, you know, his height and quick release helped Tatum do work in the post. Defense can only do so much.
Harden the pass to Green. And there's a whistle. That's going to go on James Harden. That's his first foul. Celtics trail by 3. Irving with the ball. In the corner, it's Hayward. Laid in with a nice touch off the glass.
Great move to get to the rim. I think they're going to take the aggressive approach down the stretch.
And, Greg, you know, that's never a bad idea to be the aggressor. I mean, what a ball game we've got going on here, guys.
Here's Anthony. Bounces high off the rim and drops. Anthony's got 4 points in the quarter.
Well, you got to respect the jump shot of Anthony because he's got the ultimate green light. And because of that freedom, he's a dangerous guy on the perimeter.
Green against Hayward. Green kicks to Harden. Anthony sets the pick for Harden. Back to Green. Capella with a screen on Hayward. Shot clock at 5. And it's Green missing.
Cannot give him that much room from mid-range. They got to feel lucky he didn't knock that one down.
That doesn't go in either for Irving. And it's Houston on the break. Paul, no one around him. The three-pointer, no good. To tie it up. And Irving with the basket on the assist by Brown. Irving's got it all tied up now for the Celtics. Screen by Capella. Harden dishes to Green. And right away, they match it with a three-pointer of their own.
You can really see that his confidence is at a high level here in this half. He didn't have a 3 in the first.
Nice ball movement by Boston. Here's Tatum. And oh, he jams it right over Clint Capella. Wow.
Tatum used to getting hit while he's shooting. I mean, he absorbs it like you would expect the pro to, and powers right through that contact.
Paul kicks to Capella. Feeds it to Harden. The three-pointer, no good.
He's not exactly striping him from deep. He had 1 3 ball in the first half, still bageled in the second.
Yeah, getting theirs before the defense can set up.
Perfect execution. That's how you take advantage of a transition opportunity.
It's stolen by Brown. For the finish, Brown jams it in.
And what amazing athleticism from Brown, putting on a show out there with slams like that.
Rockets trail by 3. Tipped away and taken away by Brown. It's 3-on-3 on the fast break. Here's Horford, and Capella sends it back. Here's Green. That's in for his 5th make of the night. Now shooting at a 50% clip, 5 for 10.
And he has the chops for this, raising the intensity when it matters most.
Yeah, he's really calm in these situations. Simply takes his time in tight spots. You got to be patient, and he is playing to his strengths.
And slam dunk by Tatum.
You've got to be careful around Tatum now. If you're not paying attention, he'll take that ball away from you quickly.
For Houston, they've gotten just under 45% of their attempts to drop in the fourth. 4 of 9. Screen by Capella. Here's Green, and it's good off the back of the rim and in. Green's got 12 points here in the second half.
Despite the troubles he had in the first half, he stayed composed and focused, and now he's getting it going.
Tatum's shot is off.
That's smothering defense. Chicken and gravy defense, not giving him an inch there. That's how you guard the inside. Yes, sir.
Marcus Smart's checked in for Boston. And the Rockets making a change here as well. Tucker's checked in. For Houston, they've gone 5 of 10, 50% from the field. Paul against Irving. Paul passes to Carmelo. Puts it up from 15. And it's Irving with the rebound. Boston's gone 2 of 3 in the fourth quarter from long range. Good shooting so far. He kicks to Horford. Chalk up 2 there. And the Celtics lead by 3.
And Irving is comfortable running the offense. When a teammate's open, he's quick to whip it around and get him a good look.
They set the pick. Screen by Capella. And stolen by Horford. And here comes Hayward, leading the fast break. Horford's shot is good. And an important part of every team's game, a look at the hustle stats for Boston.
Defensively, they played with a lot of energy, and the steals we've seen are a result of that aggressiveness.
They've been firing on all cylinders in the transition game, too. I mean, they've really run the break well. Tell you what, Kevin, it would be helpful if he would start to contribute a little more on offense, because when he's missing, it makes it really hard for this team.
Here's Capella, and it's sent back by Horford. Here's Irving. The Rockets pull it in. Paul's got 4 rebounds in this game. Anthony in the corner. Shot on the wing. Capella. Great positioning on the putback.
Love how Capella stays alert on the offensive board, creating second chance opportunities thanks to that activity.
Now here's Tatum. Defense right on him to the paint. And Hayward gets it to go on the assist by Tatum. That's now 8 points for Gordon Hayward.
And 10 of their last 12 coming off assists.
Paul with the ball. He's picked up by Irving. They set the pick. The wide open look here for Anthony. Loses the defender with the screen and drills the jumper.
Yeah, and they are living and dying from beyond the arc since halftime. It's a different look than what we saw in the first half. Just impressed with the teamwork out there, setting the table for one another.
5 straight baskets, Greg, resulting from assists. They're playing as one unit out there.
Paul outside, kicks to Harden. Looking to end his cold spell. Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here.
And, you know, Capella has a big body, Kevin, and knows how to use it as he draws contact from the defense on his way up.
And the first one at the line is good. Brown is checked in for Smart. That's also good. So he hits both free throws.
Well, I tell you what, it's really impressive how Capella has improved his role so quickly, Kevin. I mean, he's a starting caliber center known for his defense, but continues to make strides on offense, too.
Horford with the screen on Anthony. Here's Irving. Rebounded by Tucker. Tucker's got 6 rebounds here tonight. Paul against Irving. They set the screen. Harden inside the three-point line. That's short off the rim.
Not a whole lot going down for him at this point. He just can't fire break.
A nice shot by Irving. 1:35 left in the fourth. Paul against Irving. Screen by Capella. Harden outside. Off the pick. With the putback. Horford with the rebound. Celtics leading by 5. Now a timeout called by Boston.
Timeout.
They lead by 5. We've got 1:13 left in the fourth quarter. Chance now to recognize our Jordan player of the game, Kyrie Irving.
Plain and simple, his scoring is what made him our pick tonight. Even when the D's giving him all their attention, they just have not been able to contain him. If they backed off him for 1 second, he made them pay.
We've got 1:13 left in the fourth quarter. To the right side. 6 to shoot. Tatum dishes to Hayward. Bounces high off the rim and drops. Hayward's got the lead up to 7 now for the Celtics. Houston's gone into a funk from downtown in the fourth. Only one of their 5 3-pointers has found the bottom of the bucket. Now here's Tatum. Guarded by Tucker. Tatum's shot is off.
You know, he can be a little hesitant near the rim. We saw it there. If the defense offers just a little bit of resistance, he doesn't take it up quite strong enough. And you know the ball's going to Harden when the game's tight. Terrific at delivering and producing down the stretch.
And they go to the intentional foul. .32 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Irving double team. It's stolen by Capella.
Just waiting for a chance to make a play, and when the pass was made, he's all over it. Just a fantastic steal.
Kicks it out to Paul. Connects! And he has brought them to within 2 points.
Well, Paul's got them dropping right now for sure.
And now we've got the intentional foul.
Honestly, just doing what they have to in order to get the basketball back.
That's a good foul, though. I like that. I mean, clock management's crucial at this time of the game.
He hits the first one, and that makes it a 3-point lead.
I don't know if there's a player in the league that has better handles than Kyrie Irving. As a matter of fact, his handles are as good as any I've seen in the history of the game. Smooth, crafty, cunning. Man, it is so much a joy to watch this guy do his thing.
They have a chance to tie it up.
A 3-ball would do just that.
Anthony. A rebound by the Celtics.
Yeah, that's just poor decision-making. He's got to be better in those situations.
Greg, I just think he was in a hurry. He flat out rushed it. I mean, I don't know what he was thinking there. He actually was in a brain-neutral position.
He drops the first one, and that gives them a 4-point cushion.
And I really like the uniqueness of Al Horford's game. I mean, he's a big man with a versatile skill set. He makes threes. He can score inside. He defends. He's a guy that is an inside-out matchup problem for most. Hey, I think that should do it. You know, got to give him credit. He came through when it mattered most.
Capella kicks to Anthony. Another miss by Houston. Here's Tatum, and slam dunk by Tatum.
Love when Tatum puts it on the floor now. Superb at driving right to the basket and has excellent speed to get there.
So it's the Celtics picking up the win. It was a fantastic ball game, and they did a great job making sure it didn't get away from them late.
Yeah, I mean, they faced some challenges, but really held firm when they needed to. On both ends, just effective in terms of coming away with this win.
And a chance now to send it over to David Aldridge, standing by courtside. David.
Thanks, guys. Gordon, nice win for you guys tonight. What was the difference?
Energy. I think we play with a lot of energy, passion, especially defensively. You know, when we're all doing our job and we're playing and we're focused and we're solid defensively, we're not really having lapses, we can be a pretty good team. You know, that we don't have to walk the ball up the court, and it's not as difficult on our offense. So it all starts defensively, and I think it all starts with energy down there.
You've become one of the best young defensive teams in the league, Gordon. Thanks very much. Back to you.
All right, David, thank you. And that'll wrap it up, folks. For Clark Kellogg, Greg Anthony, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan along with our terrific 2K Sports crew, thanking you for tuning in. We'll see you later.